Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Next we're looking at the second season of the superhero anime One Punch Man.
Following the averted crisis from season 1, a new evil is looming as a mysterious hero hunter is out to destroy all the world's greatest heroes, along with the rise of the Monster Association to bring down mankind. I hope you've been doing your 100 sit-ups, your 100 push-ups, and running 10 miles a day, because we need you!
Unfortunately, it doesn't even do anything. And we have heard about this season for actually a while because they're in Japan first, of course. So many people watched it and just read the subtitles. And season 2 is so far controversial. It was very controversial at the time, long before it got dubbed into English here, because of the drastic change that the entire series had from season 1. It was almost like watching a different show. Many people have said, oh, the animation's different, the story's different, pacing's different.
Something's different.
Yeah, and then when we didn't understand what was going on, then when we watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes that aired on Toonami, we were like, yeah, it doesn't even feel like the same show now. Everything has totally changed, even from the direct focus. I don't even think Saitama was even in the season that much. For a show called One Punch Man, he didn't have that much attention.
That's true. Then it focused more on the hero hunter, and on Genos.
Yeah, it was more about them, and it was fine if they want to show this new villain rising, like it was doing like a parallel or something, but they didn't do that. It almost became someone else's show. And Hero Hunter, since this is, theorized that this is in the same universe as My Hero Academia, I guess he was like the prototype version of Stain, because his focus was pretty similar in terms of just killing all the heroes, because he wants to be a monster.
Yeah. As you mentioned, it was so different. We were a little caught off guard. The animation's not as crisp. And Saitama is not crisp. He's more like watching a cartoony type show rather than an anime when you look at him. He's not defined as Genos and some of the other characters.
Right.
The Hero Hunter arc is different, but it focuses too much on that character. And you're getting so much of his backstory and seeing him fight and how strong he is. And maybe it's so you can build up for when he finally encounters Saitama and knows that's who he's fighting, because they've encountered each other. He didn't know who he was. And both times, of course, he's hit him or knocked him somewhere, but he hasn't killed him. And I don't know if he wasn't putting his full force behind it, or he was just flicking him like a fly. But in both cases, he wasn't killed.
Yes.
So he will be back so they can have a final showdown, as you always say, the final boss, or the big boss. That's what the Hero Kill is going to be. Genos, you're seeing more of him having improvements and upgrades and how he's using them, and he's still being destroyed and torn apart.
Right.
But at least in one episode we got to see him he was torn apart and he actually put himself back together again, which was different, and a really, really great upgrade that his other master gave him, so that he can continue to fight and continue to exist instead of being dragged along like some of the other S-class superheroes were doing.
Right. And for this one, like I said, the story is with the monsters rising. And Mama has theorized that this is like a foreshadowing for My Hero Academia, which lines up with other people's theories too, because of further chapters in the manga that have not been animated yet. And her, along with a lot of other people, thinking that there's going to be some type of war coming with all the villains, just as there's all these monsters coming all out of everywhere and taking down everyone. The same thing's going to happen here in Academia. All the villains are just going to come out and start attacking all over the world or something.
Right. And if you've been watching My Hero Academia but not reading the manga, you're going to be surprised when who you think is going to be probably the leader isn't going to be the leader. So it's going to be interesting to find out who's actually going to be the leader in this uprising. We know it's not going to be Stain. We know it's not going to be two characters that are in it. But not to give spoilers, we'll have to wait.
Right.
Or we'll give spoilers and then you will not want to listen to us.
Right. Right. So back to One Punch Man before we get on to the long show. For this one, like I said, they had the Hero Hunter arc, which does actually do a parallel to My Hero Academia. They actually do a Hero Hunter arc, which intertwines with a tournament arc. So they did actually take the second season of Academia and made it into One Punch Man, but the difference is in its focus, because the Hero Hunter is the focus for just about the majority of the season, with Saitama pretty much being in the background, even going into the tournament arc with the monsters. And now what the monsters are doing, if they want to get more people in, because the monsters get defeated like pretty easily sometimes, they have these little cells that humans eat and are offering to join them. If they eat the cells, they'll become monsters and they can join and become invincible. And it really
until they meet One Punch Man.
Right. And then what's really kind of like unnerving in a way, like saying like how many heroes are actually willing to do that even without the threat of being killed. Some of them were okay with eating this thing and getting powers and just turning sides just like that. So you kind of see why Stain's about, taking out heroes now. It's like, if you do it this quickly, how many heroes are even going to stay in the association?
Well, in this universe we're watching with One Punch Man, the heroes are more narcissistic and arrogant and conceited than they are in My Hero Academia. To be fair, you have a few in My Hero Academia, but they're not as really in the forefront like they are in One Punch Man. It's like just about every hero is a jackass. There's no way to put it. They are. So and you're wondering, especially with all these darn tank top heroes, it's like, what the heck is this? They all walk around wearing wife beaters, talking about their heroes, and then they beat other heroes up and bully other heroes because they want to be number one. It's like, what? This is really messed up.
Yeah, like, no wonder you had to make a bunch of changes later on when you got to the present day Hero Academia. But
so, in all fairness, this is the beginning, and they really did need to put in a Heroes Association with stronger and stricter guidelines and so forth, because when you watch now, you see, oh my gosh, and then on top of that, you've got some really strange villains that are even more strange and odd than in My Hero Academia, like the centipede one. Right,
there's one that lasted multiple episodes that seemed to not be defeated no matter how many times it was blasted, punched, evaporated, everything, nothing really stopped it except for, of course,
And his body stretches miles and miles around the city, so it's difficult to defeat him. And he regenerates like a centipede does.
Right.
And then he also has the stomach acid. And then you see the human face. So there's some really, really creepy, strange, and odd villains that are in this universe. Versus in My Hero Academia.
Right. So clearly this is going into season 3 because season 2, as recording of this podcast, has just ended.
And the cliffhanger lets you know that this isn't done.
Right. And you could tell, by how it ended anyway and how long everything was taking. There's too much left to just be a complete story for the season, like with season 1 where you had the invasion and it was done after that and then life went on. And then, of course, you got to see more heroes, ones you got to see from season 1, and then a couple of new ones. And you found out who King really is, because you had heard about him in season 1, but you actually get to see, what he really is in season 2.
His backstory. So that was an interesting part that we really wanted to know.
Right.
But we didn't really get to see much of Saitama. It's his show. So
which is
where were you?
Right, which is why we haven't really talked about him. And it kind of had him revert back to season 1 where he was kind of bored because he can't beat any people. Well, now they haven't given him a chance to fight anybody because he's barely in it or he's not even aware of his own plot.
Right.
Everyone else is more involved in the story than the main character, which was something that a lot of people were confused about, especially us. In the story, as you know, with season 1, it was tongue-in-cheek, it was a crazy action comedy, and a little bit of seriousness, but you knew that was the dichotomy of it. Well, season 2, it looks like they removed a majority of the comedy, and now it's just a mostly dark action serious show. So there's literally like very little comedy even in season 2. There's not that much laughter other than the little things that happen with One Punch Man, because all the story's so dark with heroes getting killed and the monsters rising and stuff. There really isn't even a time for a breather.
Yeah, by the dozens. So you're right, it's a darker season, and we just hope they go back to what made season 1 special and what made so many of us watch this show and return for season 2. So there's always hope, and we'll just have to keep an eye out for when season 3 premieres in the U.S.
Right. So, if you have seen One Punch Man Season 2, please let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. Did you actually enjoy it? Or are you a little conflicted like a lot of other people on the drastic change?
Or if you decided to punch out and just not even continue with watching for Season 3. And don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and click the bell for notifications so you can know when we actually do Season 3 podcast, because we are going to hang in there and see if it improves.
Right, there's so much. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you want to do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.